Okay, so now we have our home screen set. So we're on to step 2 of what to do and how to set up our classroom. Again, I want to remind you that I'm showing you how I've set up my classroom in Canvas. This is not the only way to do it. This is just how I have been found success with Canvas and with my students. So we've gotten the home page. We've set up our module page as our home page. Now on to step 2. Now setting up the navigation menu on the left side of the screen. So let me show you how to do that. So when I say the navigation menu, I'm going to open my course here. So when I say the navigation menu, I'm talking about this menu right over here. Right here. So all this stuff, anything that doesn't have a little eyeball that's crossed out, anything that doesn't have that beside it, the students can see. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make this as simple as possible for the students. So I want to show you how to manipulate this to arrange it to where students can only see 2 or 3 things. You have several options here, and you really have to decide what you want your students to see. Me personally, there are only 3 or 4 of these options, and I'm going to set it up that way that I want my students to see. That way it simplifies it for them. They only have those 2 or 3 things they can get at, and it just makes it easier. So on the navigation menu, you scroll down to where it says Settings. So go down and click on Settings. When you get to Settings, you have some options up here. Now this is all how we'll go over all this in a second and on another step. But right here, right now, we're just going to look at the navigation. So you click on Navigation. Now here are all of your options. Now you have 2. You have these that are visible and these that are not visible. So first of all, you have to decide which ones you want. Okay, Home is good. That way they can click on Home, they go directly to their modules. That's why I don't leave modules on there. So we have Home, Announcements, Assignments. I don't leave assignments open because I put the assignments within the module, and I don't want students to be able to access all possible assignments. But again, you got to consider how you want to run your classroom. Set it up the way I'm showing you, and then if you decide you want to give that option, then you can always go back and change it. Okay, discussions. Do you use discussions? That's something probably not right now that we'll get into later. Grades, I definitely want to show. So I want to take my grades, click and drag, and I'm going to put it under Home. So I want Home and Grades for sure. People, no, I don't want them to see all the people in the classroom. Pages, if you use Pages, again, we'll go over Pages in another video. For right now, I'm going to leave Pages off. Files, again, right now I'm going to leave it off. Outcomes, rubrics, quizzes, modules, conferences, collaborations, chat. Really, all of this. Now, attendance, I do use attendance. So I'm going to move attendance up. I'm going to drag it up and put it under grades. Okay. Chat, Google Drive, Remind, GradeSync, all that I don't really use, or I don't want my students to have access to. So now I have the 3 that I want. So the 3 I want my students to see. So the rest of them, I'm just going to start at the bottom here and drag down here. So it says drag items here to hide them from students. So I'm just going to start at the bottom and just start dragging one at a time. Unfortunately, you can only do one at a time. If anybody figures out a way to do more than one at a time, please let me know. So I'm going to click and drag all these down there. Takes a second, but it's just a simple, easy process. But what this does is it simplifies it for the students. So I've dragged them all down to that other section. So now I just have these 3. These are the only 3 I want my students to see. Very important at this point, make sure you scroll down and click Save. If you don't click Save and you go back, then it will not save it, and it'll just look like it did before. So once I click Save, here I have it. Students will only see these 3. So I'm going to go back home. Okay, see now these 3 are the only 3 that do not have the eyeball. I'm going to show you Student View. Now this button here with the glasses is the Student View button. So I'm going to show you my Student View and what the students will see. So here, students will see Home, and they'll see Grades. And once I have, let me leave the Student View. And once I have attendance done, then they'll start seeing attendance too. Once you do it the first time. So that way, let me go back to Student View. So this simplifies it for my students. they don't have a big long list of things over here to choose from. They can't access something you might not want them to get into. So just the goal here is to make it easy and simple for the students. So here they'll see their modules and they'll see home, grades, and attendance once I've done an attendance one time. So that's really it. That's step 2. So far we have chosen our home page, which again I used the modules page, and we've set up our navigation menu. Again, the goal here is to simplify, make it easy for your students to use.